Continue to stay on top of breaking news this morning of a crash involving a CMPD SUV that sent 4 people to the hospital.
Queen City News anchor Savannah Rudisell joins us live from the corner of Carmel and Pineville Matthews Roads. So Savannah, what's the latest on that crash investigation?
Yeah, we're seeing that some of the CMPD crash investigators have what they need and are starting to move out and starting to reopen some of the lanes. Just as of the last probably 30 seconds to about a minute ago, we are seeing some of those drivers who are going westbound on Pineville Matthews Road. They are able to cross the intersection with Carmel. Some of the eastbound drivers, those are still being diverted around all through the Carmel Commons area and still not able to get through this intersection. And here is a look as to why. This crash happened just before 3 o'clock here this morning. Involved a minivan and this CMPD cruiser that's now up on the back of the tow truck. This got up there maybe in the last 15 minutes or so as crews are starting to sweep up some of the debris that is still on the roadway and once again get that car up on the back of that lift. The front end of the CMPD cruiser, that clearly took the bulk of the damage. While that hood you can see is still straight up, that hood didn't crumple, it popped up, but the rest of that front bumper is just gone. We can see inside of there that some of those airbags have deployed. Now, if we wanted to zoom out a little ways and show you some more, that we know some of the fluids out of that car leaked, so some of the wiper fluid and oil as well as some of the gas, and so some of the cleanup crews have been putting down some of this salt and sand just to clear that up and make that safer before they reopen the road. We also see them sweeping up those piles of debris as well. I want to show you again where most of that debris came from, and it looks like it came from this dark colored minivan. You see that the airbags on both the driver and the passenger side had deployed. Those doors on the driver's side just completely hanging off their hinges. This is sitting right on a bit of a median here on Carmel Road going north and southbound, still straddling that as of right now. Severe damage to both the CMPD cruiser and to this dark colored minivan. Once again, as Julian mentioned, we have 4 injuries, one of those listed as life-threatening, 2 people in the hospital, they say, with serious injuries, and 1 person was taken for medical care with minor injuries. We are working to get more of an update on their conditions, learn more about what led up to this crash as well. We'll keep you updated here as soon as we get more information on that. As for the traffic impacts, again, they are moving things along, so not sure just yet how long that parts of the intersection are going to remain closed, but CMPD does tell us it will be closed as long as they're still investigating. They ask that people avoid the area, use alternate routes if possible. Now, Jason's got a look at some traffic back in the station. Jason, where can people go?
All right, Savannah, yeah, thank you very much for that update. Appreciate that. We are certainly thinking about all the parties involved in that accident, including the CMPD officer, and for a speedy recovery. Let's take a look at the map now. So right in the center of the map, right, that's the intersection where you saw just over Savannah's shoulder, Pineville Matthews Road at Carmel Road, that intersection closed, that westbound traffic trying to get through. The yellow you can see there is the stretch that either the lane's closed or it's just really backed up. Eastbound traffic trying to make it through, that's kind of the issue there. What you can do is on the west side of this, you've got Carmel Commons Boulevard, right, it takes you behind the shopping center. You can also hop on Johnston Road. That's the green road, kind of making that triangle right there just south of that badge that we've got showing the accident. So,
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.